Hello and welcome back to Big G's Railroad Channel. This is Big G, your host, and today you see a little bit of a different view out here as I'm on the outside of the train room. There's a reason being for that. Give me just a minute and I will explain what we're doing looking at this window. Alright, welcome back, and now we're inside the layout room. Now you get to see the inside of said window. And that window is all about today's video. Well, it's time to replace windows in the house. And you know what that means? Yep, you got it. That section of layout has to come down. In order for that to come down, the window comes out and the new one goes in. So, it is with a heavy heart that I have to tear out part of my layout. But I'm hoping to tear it out, rebuild that piece of layout right back in with minimal damage taking it down, and hopefully very easily putting it back in, joining all the track back together after I just got done putting that section together. Let's take a closer look. Alright, we're a little closer to the layout here. As you can see on the table there, the legs come up right in here. And there's a seam right there. So what I've got to do is I've got to go through and nip the track on the bottom two layers there, or on the bottom two main lines, and then right across the yard. And what we're going to do is we're going to come right up where this seam is, cut straight across right where those couplers are, and then straight back, and then up the backdrop here, and hopefully nip the rails right across all of these tracks, which that's 6 tracks total there. So nip all 6 of those. And then once we do that, we'll move down this section here. And right back here in the corner is where the next table joint is. We'll take and come right up here, come right up through the foam. Luckily, I'll pull out this section here. We'll get it. That will access underneath. Let's put that down over here. Sorry for the quick camera shift. Of course, we'll move the train out from under the tunnel there. But that seam will come right up, straight across. Hopefully this brace will stay in. We'll cut across, cut the lines, do the same underneath, and then go up the backdrop over here. And there's actually a joint on the backdrop, so I'm hoping with that being the case, maybe just taking this section out, leaving this one attached to that table with the cut further down that way, and then take this whole section, pull it out, take the legs off, disconnect some of the wiring down below, and then with the help of my wife, move this section that just got scenic out into another section of the layout room. Without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, after about 2.5 hours of work, here is what we've got. A big gap in Big G's Railroad. Definitely not what I was looking forward to, but I will enjoy the new windows. But a big section of Big G's Railroad is taken out. I've got pictures of that section laying in the garage. I'll show those next. And go right around here in just a second and we'll take a closer look. There's part of the backdrop I had to cut off. I had to store it up underneath the railroad. Of course, I got a little bit more house cleaning to do before we're all set and ready for the windows to come in Friday. But here is what we look like. So here's the yard that just got done ballasting, putting all the concrete work in. And it comes around the curve. There's a piece of the backdrop. And there's where we had to cut away at the yard. Probably going to wind up having to replace some track, unfortunately. But we'll cross that bridge back when we get there. And by that bridge, we're talking over an 8-foot gap right there. So this is the window that we are replacing. I may wind up having to do a little bit more track work over here as well. As you can see, that track kind of got tore up in the process. So, more scenery work, more track work to do. We'll have a second Golden Spike Eye soon. We'll see how all the track work looks when we get it put back into place, but for right now, no trains running on the layout. Speaking of trains, I went ahead and I stored those away. Give me just a second and I'll show you the engine stacked up in the closet. Here's the engines all stored away. All 19 of those. Of course, those are some old HO ones that I've got back in the back there. Santa Fe, Virginian, and chassis system, B&O. Old coal mine, some cars. Alright, I'm going to go back and finish up doing some other stuff. Thank you for watching part 1. There'll be a couple week gap in between, and while that's happening, I'll try to bring you some videos of me finishing scenery over there. Hope you enjoy. Stay safe.